today I'm going to be making a video about you will go down for what you defend. And today I'm eating pistachios. I haven't eaten anything all day, and pistachios are my favorite. And I haven't eaten anything all day. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm basically at a point where, like, since I haven't eaten much of anything all day, eating something like pistachios, it just like hits different. And it's like the roasted honey with sea salt. Yeah. So I'm gonna be eating this. If you don't like it, it's okay. You don't have to watch it. So today, the scriptures I'm going to be going over today is Matthew chapter 12, verse 37, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 18 through 19, Proverbs chapter 17 through 15, and my favorite, Romans chapter 1, verse 32. So, today those are the scriptures I'm going to be going over. Leave a comment down below if your thoughts and opinions on things. If you agree, if you disagree. And yeah. So right now I'm going to be going over Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. Number 1 is Romans chapter 1, verse 32. Okay, so in order to understand Romans chapter 1, verse 32, you have to read from honestly, I think you should read from chapter 21. I mean, from verse 21 all the way to 32. But if you want to make it shorter, you could start with verse 28, where it reads like he gave them over to a reprobate mind. I have a KJV, so KJV always, has the TH at the end of everything, and it formats words in like a weird way, very weird way. But yeah, if you start with verse 28, where it says God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, and you read all the way down to 32, then you will understand the context of it. But it's basically saying how human beings defiled the truth of God and made him seem, and basically came up with an image of him that fits their narrative. And in that way, they created an image of God that is defiled, which God is unable to be defiled. But in your image, they defile his truths, or they try to create an image of him that is untrue. And for that, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. And he just goes down the list, fornicators, wickedness, covetousness, malicious intent, full of envy, murder, deceit. But at the end of it all, he explains, at the verse 32, he says, those who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in those who do them. And when he means pleasure, meaning another word for using that is like they not only do the same, but support those who do them. So, and the reason why I am bringing up this Bible scripture is because I'm kind of shedding light on how there are some people who will say that you can separate the art from the artist. And I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely not true. You can't separate the art from the artist, because your art it comes from your mindset and the kind of mindset that you have to have. And if you have a defiled mindset, you are supporting the art that comes from a defiled mindset. You are supporting the art that comes from a mindset that is corrupted and wicked. And it doesn't matter what his art or what the artist's art produces, even if it sounds good or it looks good, understand it's coming from a wicked place. It's coming from the stem of it, the root of it is coming from a defiled place. And you are supporting it, which is basically supporting evil, supporting defiledness, supporting wickedness. And so it even puts things into perspective, because in this verse he talks about how those who do those things, knowing the judgment of God, so you know that killing someone is worthy of death. You know the judgments of God, but you not only do the same. So these are the people who do these sins. He's talking about the people who do these sins, like who are murderous people, but also you support those who do them. That goes for, and he listed off all of the things: full of envy, covetousness, unrighteousness. He talks about wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness. It says backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boastful, boasters, disobedient to their parents. And you will see that a lot in this day and age. How kids are way more disobedient. Kids are way more that kind of scared me. Kids are way more disobedient now. They don't listen to their parents. I was just watching a video the other day of how this girl, she was 13, and she's yelling at this 32-year-old girl, at this 32-year-old woman. This girl is yelling at this 32-year-old woman, and I'm just like, when I was a kid, we had to respect our elders. You can't just talk to an adult that way. And if an adult has an issue with you, you are to get your parents. Your parents are the ones who are supposed to talk to them. I don't know. Nowadays, you could tell a lot of people in this world have been left to a reprobate mind, because even the part where it says fornicators, people support hookup culture. No, absolutely not. You fall under Romans chapter 1 verse 32. people who support this whole thing where the whole R. Kelly thing, Romans chapter 1 verse 32. People who, and if you think about it, a lot of the world is left to this. A lot of the world is left to a reprobate mind. I really do feel that way, because you're just seeing a lot more sin break out in broad daylight, which is just crazy, in my opinion. But yeah. And in this verse, it's basically explaining, like, not only do you do the same, but you support those who do them. So you can't separate, back to what I was saying, you can't separate the art from the artist. So for the whole David thing, the artist David, he's talking about murdering someone in his video. And in the video, or in his music, and in the video, he basically is using someone that looks like Celeste. But then in reality, he's saying he never murdered her. He's literally describing how he murdered her in his video. Which, keep in mind, he's in his 20s and she's 13. So I don't understand how someone could say separate the art from the artist when the artist is talking about the defiled things that they're doing and the terrible things that they're doing. I don't see how you could separate the two. And it's the same thing with R. Kelly. Oh, R. Kelly has such good music. Separate the art from the artist. No. Because every single video, every single song that he made was about young girls under 18. So if you are supporting his music, you're supporting the defiled mindset. You're supporting the wickedness that comes from his mind, because your life is a product of your mindset. Your life is a product of your mindset. So if your mindset is defiled, nothing can come out of you but defiledness. This is kind of goes into the whole you'll know them by their fruits, because a wicked tree can't bear good fruit and a good tree can't bear bad fruit. You can't produce good things if you are a wicked person. You just can't. So if you are a person who decides to support R. Kelly, let's say that you even just listen to his music, you are supporting a defiled mindset. You're supporting a defiled person. And this is where it goes into this whole woe to those who call good evil and evil good. You will go down for everything that you defend, is what I'm basically saying. Everything that you defend, you will go down for. Because had we all would have been on one accord and said that wickedness is evil and good things are good, how we would have drawn the line in the sand, because it's not like we don't know what right and wrong is. Everybody knows the difference between right and wrong. But people like to blur the lines and blur the truth and the truth of God because it fits their narrative. So because it fits their narrative, all of a sudden they don't know what right and wrong is. But the thing is like, had we would have been on one accord and said that this was wrong, he could have maybe found conviction in his heart and decided to change his ways. But because there are people that support him, he will never see his wicked ways. He was just on the phone with Corey Holcomb, which again is another pedophile. He was basically birds of a feather flock together. Okay. People who do wicked things, they all are in the same. They're all in the same circles. But allegedly, he's allegedly a pedophile. I'm not going to say that he is, because I don't want people to come after me. He's allegedly, based off of the things that he said with his own mouth. Okay, but he was just on the Corey Holcomb show, basically saying that he didn't do anything wrong. He never did anything, even though there's proof, there's evidence, there's witnesses. His own wife snitched on him. Like, what? I'm not even gonna say snitching. His own wife told the truth. So, I mean, like, even with all of the evidence coming to light, he still feels the need to lie. You're already caught in your lie. There's no point in lying anymore. You might as well tell the truth. But he still, to this day, thinks that he did nothing wrong. And that's because of the overwhelming amount of support that he got when that video came out of him peeing on that 13-year-old girl. Right at that time, honestly, in the court system, everyone that was involved that allowed this man to go free, you are all responsible. You are all responsible for that. Because how you could see a video evidence of him peeing on a girl and he gets exonerated for that makes absolutely no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. You have video evidence of him doing it, and somehow we're just sitting here wondering, oh, did he do it or not? It's video evidence. You can literally see that he did it. But that's not even the point. And you can even, people who supported, people who couldn't distinguish good from evil because they liked his music. They didn't want him to have to go to jail at that time or be condemned for his crimes because they liked his music. And that's why I'm like, you can't separate the art from the artist, because your life is a reflection of your mindset. So if he is doing these terrible things on his day-to-day basis, his mindset brings him to this defiled place to do these terrible things to children. You have to understand the music reflects the same thing. If his actions are reflecting this, his music is reflecting the same thing of his mindset, his defiled mindset. All of the music that he made about women, he was making it about children. You can't separate his mindset from the person, because what makes a person's life, their art, everything, it's their mindset. So you can't separate the person from the art, because that makes no sense. That's like saying, I'm going to separate your mind from your personality. Your mind is your personality. This is who he is. That's the kind of person that he is. So you can't separate the art from the artist. That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense. Your creativity comes from your mind. You can't separate your mind from your personality, because that's where your personality comes from. So when you support people who have these defiled mindsets, understand you're supporting wickedness. It is supporting wickedness. Woe to those who call good evil and evil good. You cannot separate the two. People are saying that the guy that sang I Got Murder on My Mind, he murdered his friends, drove around in a car with them dead in the car, and then sung about it. He literally did the act, and then afterwards made music about it and got supporters on it. And he still thinks that what he did wasn't wrong. The main reason why is because everyone is supporting him. Everyone is supporting him. And that's another thing that I have an issue in the Black community about, because people will support a Black person just because they're Black, not because of the things that they do, not because of the not even because of the terrible things that they have done. It doesn't matter. You will support them solely because they are black. And to me, that makes no sense, because at that point, you're putting your skin color over right and wrong. You're putting your skin color over the laws of God. How could you be a Christian when you don't put God first? And God's laws should always come first. You are a Christian first before anything. We are a soul in a body. God put our soul encased in flesh, like our soul is encased in flesh. When everything goes, when everything is gone, when the world is ended, okay, everything is done, everything that happened in the book of Revelations has happened, you will have to answer for everything that you've done, everything that you've supported. So I hope that you have a really good explanation as to why you supported these things. And if your answer is because you like the music, it's going to be a really bad day for you on Judgment Day. I'm just telling you, like, it's going to be a very bad day for you on Judgment Day. And coming from the Lord, and to have this kind of mindset and claim that you're a Christian, when the Lord talks about in the Bible how if you love your mother, father more than me, you are not worthy of me. If you think that he's going to be okay with you putting your skin color, race, over his laws, over him, if you think he's not going to be upset about that, you are sadly mistaken. That is like blood. Like he said, I think not that I've come to bring peace, but I've come to bring a sword. Okay? To cleave you from the people, to cleave you from... Hold on, let me go. Okay, so it says in Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 36, it says, "Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. Do not suppose that I've come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against a mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be they of their own household." So he's basically saying that if you even love your mother and father more than me, you're not worthy of me. That's another Bible verse. I'm going to put it somewhere. I'm going to put it somewhere here. But if you love your mother and father more than me, then you're not worthy of me, which makes complete sense. But also this also plays into your culture. This also plays into your race. This also plays into things like that. So when you decide that you see someone like R. Kelly doing something terrible like that and you support him, you're basically saying that the truth of God doesn't matter because your race matters more. A lot of men, specifically black men, were saying, "Oh, you're always trying to take a black man down." But the thing is like, if he's a pedophile, then yeah. If he's a murderer, then yeah. If that one particular black man is doing those terrible things, then yeah, I'm trying to take him down. What? Of course. Why would you not? Like, why is it that it's okay for you guys to do it, but it's not okay for other people to do it? So that's my thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to support you just because you're black. I'm not going to support you just because you're black. If you do something terrible, like hurting children, I'm not going to support you. Because that's not what being black is about. I'm telling you that's not what being black is about. And I'm not going to... And it's people like that and it's people with that kind of mindset who need to be... We need to bring back shame. We need to really bring back shame. Like, you need to be ashamed of yourself for even thinking that it's okay to support people like that. I don't care if you're black or white. If you right is right and wrong is wrong. I'm not going to support you just because you're black. And my thing is like, for the people who say, oh, you're always trying to take a black man down, where do you draw the line? Where is the line drawn in the sand? Because you support someone who murdered someone. They actually did the crime, and you will still support them saying free this person, free that person. So you'll support murder. R. Kelly proved that you will support a pedophile. You will support people in the Epstein files. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, where do you draw the line when it comes to wickedness and, you know what I'm saying, right and wrong? Where do you draw the line? Or is it that you will support them no matter what, just because they're black? Because I'm telling you, when you do stuff like that, when you put your skin color over God, you're not he's basically saying you're not worthy of him. Why even claim that you're a Christian if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to put those personal feelings aside and realize right is right and wrong is wrong? Had these people would have seen the error of their ways, had someone would have said something, had they wouldn't have had so much support, they could have changed. But they'll never change now. And that soul that could have changed is hanging over your head now. Because you could have, if we all came on one accord and said, this is what's right, this is what is righteousness, and this is what is wickedness. Because it's not like you don't know. It's all of a sudden when it's your favorite artist, when it's your favorite politician, because people are supporting Trump right now, and he's all in the files. When it's your favorite politician, or when it's someone or when it's someone that looks like you and is doing something that you would like to do yourself in your own mind, then you want to say, oh, that person's not a bad person. He's not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with him. I need to put more gel in my hair. There's nothing wrong with him. He's not a bad person. No, he is. Like, for the people who supported George Zimmerman, who are supporting cops who are killing black kids, black men. I mean, like, come on now. Let me just put that in my hair real quick. Don't judge me, okay? Because the hair right now, I need to get it redone. But it's mainly because I went to the gym yesterday, and honestly, the gym will just mess up your hair. But anyways, when you support people that are doing defiled things, you are supporting a defiled mind, and that's why it falls under Romans chapter 1 verse 32, where it says those who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but support those who do them. So when you support someone who do these wicked things, understand your mindset in and of itself is wickedness. You have a defiled mind yourself if you're willing to support these wicked things. And because you have a mindset that is defiled, do you honestly think, and be honest, do you honestly think you're going to heaven if you're supporting a defiled mind? If you have a defiled mind and you're supporting wickedness, do you honestly think that God is going to accept that type of mentality into the kingdom of God? Absolutely not. Liars in and of itself, it even says in the Bible, liars in and of itself will not inherit the kingdom of God. So understand, when you support defiled things, when you support people who do terrible things, you will go down for the same terrible things. And I hope you have a good explanation as to why you supported those things. And there is no sorry at Judgment Day. There is no sorry at Judgment Day. You had all your life to apologize, to repent, and turn from your ways, and you decided not to. And God bears long with the sinner. Exactly the reason why, for the same reason why he will give you a second chance and will give you a chance to change, he will bear long with the sinner and give you a chance to change. But if you decide in your terrible ways that you don't want to change, that you don't feel as though you should have to change, then the judgment will fall on you, and you have no one to blame but yourself. So Romans chapter 1 verse 32 kind of explains that everything that you support, I hope that you stand 10 toes down on it. And even, let's say you supported R. Kelly when he was doing that before, but then later on you decided that what he did was evil. You still have the wrath of God over your head because you have not repented for supporting such things. And honestly, when you have these types of celebrities, when you're supporting these types of celebrities, it is a form of idolatry. It is a form of idolatry. When you're obsessing over these celebrities and you're obsessing over, what they're able to do, what they're, the gift that God gave them. When you obsess over the gift that God gave them and you try to worship them over the Creator, that is idolatry. It's complete idolatry. So just understand that everything that you support, you're going to go down for. Everything. Everything that you free this person, free that person, everything you support, any murderous people who committed murders, even if you listen to their music. Ariana Grande openly talked about how she's a witch. You have to have a defiled mind in order to dabble in witchcraft. When you listen to her music, you are supporting her. When you listen to her music, you're supporting her. Doja Cat literally dressed around and danced around dressed up like a demon, doing demonic things, saying demonic things, saying how she sold her soul and she's okay with it. And you're still supporting her. Understand, there's a part of your mind that is a little defiled. You have to come to terms with that and maybe try to fix that, because that's not, you don't want to be outside of the kingdom of God. You don't want to burn in hell. I don't want to burn in hell. And I don't want other people to burn in hell. So these are things that you have to just consider. If I defend this person, what will I say to God on Judgment Day? That's what I always think of. What am I going to say to the Lord? What am I going to say to him on Judgment Day? How am I going to explain this behavior to him on Judgment Day? And then the answer 90% of the time is you're not going to be able to, because it's wrong. If you can't support what you're doing to God, if you can't defend what you're supporting to God, then there's a good chance that it's evil and that you're not supposed to be supporting it in the first place. If your reasoning is, oh, he's my favorite artist, I just love his music, but all the music that he made was about children. R. Kelly, all the music that he made was about children. All of the videos all of the lyrics and stuff, even the David guy, all of the lyrics, they lead it's saying something. It's saying where his mindset is. There is no such thing as separating the art from the artist. There's no such thing as that. Your art comes from your mindset. If your art is coming from a defiled mindset, then odds are your day-to-day life is going to be defiled, just like your music is. And then you have to also say, like, where do I draw the line? People who supported George Zimmerman, people who supported that lady who was calling an autistic child the N-word, like, you're supporting wickedness. And then you think that having this do without will behavior, satanic type of behavior, is okay on Monday through Saturday, but then on Sunday, that's when you want to worship the Lord. And you know what I'm saying? That doesn't fly. This Christianity is not a thing that you can take off and put on and take off on a day-to-day thing, on a day-to-day basis. This is like a forever thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. So you can't decide that Monday through Saturday you're going to listen to and support all these types of wicked people, and then on Sunday you're going to worship the Lord and act like nothing happened. That's not how that works. When you're a Christian, it's an everyday thing. Every day is a fight. Every day is temptation. So you can't support people who do defiled things. And you definitely shouldn't support them just because they're the same skin color as you. That has nothing to do with anything. You need to, among your own people, and I'm talking about black people and white people, of all races and cultures, you need to draw the line between wickedness and righteousness. You need to draw the line between what's right and wrong. And you should not support someone just because they're the same culture or race as you. Because when it says in Matthew chapter 10, verse 34, when it says, "Think not that I've come to bring peace on earth, but I've come to bring a sword." To, a man against his father, a girl against her mother. He's talking about family. Your family are the ones who gave you your are the ones who gave you your heritage. You came from someone. He's basically saying, if you and then hold on. He's basically saying, if you love your father and mother more than me. I'm going to go to that scripture right now. I forgot what Matthew. Yeah, Matthew chapter 10, verse 37. If you love your mother and father more than me, then you are not worthy of me. That's your flesh and blood. That's your skin color. That's all the heritage. That's everything. If you decide that you are going to support the wickedness of your own culture, and you are going to blur the lines between good and evil for the sake of the culture, understand you are not worthy of God. You're not worthy to be in the kingdom of heaven. You're not worthy of God. You should never choose flesh. You should never choose the flesh over righteousness. You should never choose the flesh over the kingdom, over the laws of God. So, and when you support a person solely because they are black, and you don't want to call them out for the terrible things that they do, but you want to support them because you don't want them to go to jail. You want to see their next album. You don't want them to go to jail. Understand, you are not worthy of even saying that you are a Christian. You are not a Christian. You are not putting God before everyone. You're not sacrificing for the kingdom of God. It's a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. You are supposed to deny yourself daily and pick up your cross every day. You cannot call yourself a Christian if you are supporting wickedness. You cannot call yourself a Christian if you're supporting people who are doing wicked things. That's why this falls under Romans chapter 1, verse 32. Because not only you know the laws of God, and you know that those who do such things are worthy of death, but not only do you do the same, but you also support the ones who do these things. You support the ones who do these things. Anything that you support, you're going to hell for. Any wickedness that you support, you will go down for. You didn't even have to go down for, let's say you're not even a part of the LGBTQ, but you support the abomination of it. You support people who do these things. You are going to go down for that sin. That is what you supported. That's what you're going to go down for. So basically, everything that you support, you will go down for. There is no if, ands, buts, or maybe. Everything that you support. You didn't even have to be a part of the LGBTQ, but you're an ally. You're an ally to abomination. You will go down for that exact same sin that you're supporting. And it doesn't matter whether they are your best friend or someone that's really close to you. You have to draw the line between wickedness and righteousness. You have to draw the line. Where are you going to draw the line? Are you going to support someone in their wickedness so that they can continue in their wickedness? Because had they would have felt shame for the terrible things that they did, they probably could have turned from their ways, or at least tried to turn from their ways. But because they have so much support, they'll never think to do that. So these are things that you have to think about. When you claim to be a Christian and you're not willing to deny yourself daily, and you're not willing to separate yourself from wickedness, you have to think about, am I really a Christian? Because do I think that it's too much to not support these things? Is it too much? Is God asking too much of you to not support wickedness? Is he asking too much of you to not support people like R. Kelly? Is he asking too much of you for you to not support terrible things like murder? Is he asking too much of you to not support those things? If you feel like he's asking too much, honestly, you can't really call yourself a Christian, because you're not really putting God first. And like he said, if you love your father and mother more than me, you're not worthy of me. You're not worthy of to be in the kingdom of God. You cannot support wickedness whatsoever. So, yeah. So, number 2 is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15. And it's basically, he that justifies wicked ways are abominable. And that supports the whole, you will go down for what you defend, because when you support, like it was explaining before, when you support wickedness, you are justifying their wicked ways. You are basically saying that it's okay for them to do wickedness because you would do the same. And because you would do the same, it's okay for them to do it. You're going to be judged harshly for that. It would be such a terrible thing, right? And maybe you aren't the ones that do the terrible things, right? Maybe you weren't the one who was a part of the LGBTQ, but you supported it. And it would just be a terrible thing for you to go down for, like, to go to hell for supporting LGBTQ, like, lifestyle when you never even lived that lifestyle. That's such a horrible way to go out. Maybe you lived your life righteously all the other times, but then, like, this particular time, you just, I don't know. This particular situation, you just couldn't help yourself. You just had to support defiled ways. It's a terrible thing to have to go down to hell for that. You will if you do that. But it's just terrible if you would have to, if you would have to go through that. That's why you should just repent and turn from it. You know? Just repent for your ways. Turn from it. Of course, there'll be hard times, you know? And of course, you know, you will, there's backsliding that happens every once in a while. I mean, that should not be like, you should not continue backsliding at all. I'm saying we all fall short of the glory of God. That's why you just repent and you continue denying yourself daily. Because there's no sense in you going to hell just for defending someone's wickedness. You didn't do it, but you defended it. It just shows how wicked your mindset is, but it could all change. You could all change that in an instance. Didn't gotta stay that way. But for you to have to be this way, that's why it says that if your right eye sins, pluck it out. There's no sense in the whole body going into the lake of fire. There's no sense in you going to hell for listening to the wrong thing. For not, you know what I'm saying? There's no sense in going to hell for defending something. If your right eye sins, pluck it out. If you want to listen to rap music, find Christian rap songs. Find Christian rap music. It's just as good, bro. You can find Christian music that talks about the Lord. My leg just got stuck on this thing. That talks about the Lord and things like that. That's what I do. I keep my radio on the gospel channel 24/7. That didn't change. It didn't change for no one. So I'm just saying, you should, rather than having to be abominable in the eyes of God, rather than having to be that way, why don't you just change? For the sake of your own soul, just change. So that you could do better in life. I mean, like, honestly, I'm going to take that part out. But, yeah, there's no sense, like I said, there's no sense in you burning. There's no sense in you burning in hell for supporting a sin. There's no sense in you burning in hell for the LGBTQ when you're not even in that lifestyle. So why are you supporting them? You're not in that lifestyle. And not to mention that this lifestyle does not help humanity. We already have a birthing problem. The last thing we need is more people in relationships that can't be fruitful. I'm not saying that there is no purpose for people who can't have kids. As a matter of fact, people who can't have kids, you could be the perfect example of how God can bless a person who can't have kids. I can't have kids. I know I'm having kids in the future. I can't have kids right now. I mean, that's just how, you know, my hormones are, you know, but I will have kids in the future. I know that because the grace of God, He's going to give me children eventually. But, yeah. I'm not saying that people who can't have kids don't have a use, but why are you promoting for people to be in relationships that can't be fruitful and can't produce more human beings? We need more human beings. Our populations all over the place are going low. Bro, I was watching this video and it talks about how China put a tax on condoms. Like, when I tell you, China, I'm taking that out. China put a tax on condoms because their population is going low. Our population is going low. And now you're trying to support people who are going to be in relationships that can never be fruitful. A woman can't have kids with another woman. A man can't have kids with another man. So you're promoting wickedness, sinful things, and on top of that, you're opening doors to demons. Like, why are you doing that? You know? So that's why when you support sin, you are opening doors. You're opening doors to demons, and on top of that, you're abominable in the sight of God. You should never support anyone in their sins, because by you doing that, you yourself are sinned and have a defiled mind. Shouldn't do that. Don't do that. So, yeah. You should never justify wicked ways. Never justify wicked ways. It never ends well for you. It'll never end well for you. And why put yourself in that kind of situation? Sense, and especially if you're not actually the one that's doing the sin, you're not actually in the sin, but you're just supporting it. Why go to hell for something you're not even doing, but you're supporting it? Why go to hell for something that you're supporting when you could just change? You just change your ways. I need to where is the Bluetooth on this thing? MacBooks need to I don't know. It needs to be easier. Oh, I found it. I don't know what I'm doing here. I get so frustrated. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I get frustrated with technology. They just, I don't know. I am used to Androids. They don't, and what's good about I'm not even going to go into this, but what's good about Androids is that they don't feel the need to track you every time I download an app, it asks me, can this app track you? No, what? Why do you need to track me? What is going on? What kind of question is that? Why are you asking to track my every move? That's so weird. That's such a weird question to ask, and no one feels a need to, protest Apple. I'm ready to protest, bro. I'm ready to protest Apple, because why are you asking me if you could track anything that I'm doing? Why are you trying to take my freedom away? It's something that you should think about, Apple products. I don't like how you have to ask to track me. Don't track me. That's weird. That's weird behavior. But anyways, yeah. Let me just get back on track. But yeah, you shouldn't support wickedness. There's no sense in supporting wickedness. You're just gonna put yourself in a wayward situation, and there's no sense in you having to go to hell for supporting wicked ways. Especially if you're not in wickedness, but you're just supporting. It is wicked. Technically, you are in wickedness because it's wicked to support the wicked, But if you're not actually committing the sins that you're supporting, why are you supporting them? Why? Just don't do that. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation. Pluck the eye out. Take yourself from that situation completely. I am not going to do this because I am going to stay away from these things. I'm not going to support this because God does not support this. And anything that God does not support, I do not support. You know? These are things just to think about. Anyways. So number 2 is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15. And it's basically he that justifies wickedness, he that justifies wicked ways are abominable. He that justifies wicked ways are abominable. And that supports the whole you will go down for what you defend, because when you support, like it was explaining before, when you support wickedness, you are justifying their wicked ways. You are basically saying that it's okay for them to do wickedness because you would do the same. And because you would do the same, it's okay for them to do it. You're going to be judged harshly for that. It would be such a terrible thing, right? And maybe you aren't the ones that do the terrible things, right? Maybe you weren't the one who was a part of the LGBTQ, but you supported it. And it would just be a terrible thing for you to go down for, like, to go to hell for supporting LGBTQ, like, lifestyle, when you never even lived that lifestyle. That's such a horrible way to go out. Maybe you lived your life righteously all the other times, but then, like, this particular time, you just, I don't know. This particular situation, you just couldn't help yourself. You just had to support defiled ways. It's a terrible thing to have to go down to hell for that. You will if you do that. But it's just terrible if you would have to, if you would have to go through that. That's why you should just repent and turn from it. You know? Just repent for your ways. Turn from it. Of course, there'll be hard times, you know? And of course, you know, you will, there's backsliding that happens every once in a while. I mean, that should not be like, you should not continue backsliding at all. I'm saying we all fall short of the glory of God. That's why you just repent and you continue denying yourself daily. Because there's no sense in you going to hell just for defending someone's wickedness. You didn't do it, but you defended it. It just shows how wicked your mindset is, but it could all change. You could all change that in an instance. Didn't gotta stay that way. But for you to have to be this way, that's why it says that if your right eye sins, pluck it out. There's no sense in the whole body going into the lake of fire. There's no sense in you going to hell for listening to the wrong thing. For not, you know what I'm saying? There's no sense you can go into hell for defending something. If your right eye sins, pluck it out. If you want to listen to rap music, find Christian rap songs. Find Christian rap music. It's just as good, bro. You can find Christian music that talks about the Lord. My leg just got stuck on this thing. That talks about the Lord and things like that. That's what I do. I keep my radio on the gospel channel 24/7. That didn't change. It didn't change for no one. So I'm just saying, you should, rather than having to be abominable in the eyes of God, rather than having to be that way, why don't you just change? For the sake of your own soul, just change. So that you could do better in life. I mean, like, honestly, I'm going to take that part out. But yeah, there's no sense, like I said, there's no sense in you burning. There's no sense in you burning in hell for supporting a sin. There's no sense in you burning in hell for the LGBTQ when you're not even in that lifestyle. So why are you supporting them? You're not in that lifestyle. And not to mention that this lifestyle does not help humanity. We already have a birthing problem. The last thing we need is more people in relationships that can't be fruitful. I'm not saying that there is no purpose for people who can't have kids. As a matter of fact, people who can't have kids, you could be the perfect example of how God can bless a person who can't have kids. I can't have kids. I know I'm having kids in the future. I can't have kids right now. I mean, that's just how, my hormones are, but I will have kids in the future. I know that because the grace of God, He's going to give me children eventually. But, yeah. I'm not saying that people who can't have kids don't have a use, but why are you promoting for people to be in relationships that can't be fruitful and can't produce more human beings? We need more human beings. Our populations all over the place are going low. Bro, I was watching this video and it talks about how China put a tax on condoms. Like, when I tell you, I'm taking that out. China put a tax on condoms because their population is going low. Our population is going low. And now you're trying to support people who are going to be in relationships that can never be fruitful. A woman can't have kids with another woman. A man can't have kids with another man. So you're promoting wickedness, sinful things, and on top of that, you're opening doors to demons. Like, why are you doing that? So that's why when you support sin, you are opening doors. You're opening doors to demons, and on top of that, you're abominable in the sight of God. You should never support anyone in their sins, because by you doing that, you yourself are sinned and have a defiled mind. Shouldn't do that. Don't do that. So, yeah. You should never justify wicked ways. Never justify wicked ways. It never ends well for you. It'll never end well for you. And why put yourself in that kind of situation? Sense, and especially if you're not actually the one that's in the sin, you're not actually in the sin, but you're just supporting it. Why go to hell for something you're not even doing, but you're supporting it? Why go to hell for something that you're supporting when you could just change? You just change your ways. I need to where is the Bluetooth on this thing? MacBooks need to I don't know. It needs to be easier. Oh, I found it. I don't know what I'm doing here. I get so frustrated. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I get frustrated with technology. I don't know. I am used to Androids. They don't. And what's good about I'm not even going to go into this, but what's good about Androids is that they don't feel the need to track you every time I download an app, it asks me, can this app track you? No, what? Why do you need to track me? What is going on? What kind of question is that? Why are you asking to track my every move? That's so weird. That's such a weird question to ask, and no one feels a need to, protest Apple. I'm ready to protest, bro. I'm ready to protest Apple, because why are you asking me if you could track anything that I'm doing? Why are you trying to take my freedom away? It's something that you should think about, you know? Apple products. I don't like how you have to ask to track me. Don't track me. That's weird. That's weird behavior. But anyways, yeah, let me just get back on track. But yeah, you shouldn't support wickedness. There's no sense in supporting wickedness. You're just gonna put yourself in a way worse situation, and there's no sense in you having to go to hell for supporting wicked ways. Especially if you're not in wickedness, but you're just supporting. It is wicked. Technically, you are in wickedness because it's wicked to support the wicked, you know? But if you're not actually like committing the sins that you're supporting, why are you supporting them? Like, why? Just don't do that. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation. Pluck the eye out. Take yourself from that situation completely. I'm not going to do this because I am going to stay away from these things. I'm not going to support this because God does not support this. And anything that God does not support, I do not support. You know? These are things just to think about. But anyways. Yeah. I had to put my glasses on. Because my cataracts are starting to bother me. And I need to see. So. You're gonna see me with little nerd glasses on. That's okay though. Everyone wears glasses. Don't judge. I'm just kidding. Okay, so it says when I said Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 18 through 19 is number 3. And it says, when I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him no warning. I'm reading from the KJV, so it's all over the place. Let me read that again. When I say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him no warning, nor speak to warn him of his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require on your hands. So this kind of is the same thing that it says in Romans chapter 1 verse 32. Because it kind of like speaks about how a lot of people know the laws of God, and knowing the laws of God, they know that these sinful ways are deserving of death. They know that the sinful ways are deserving of death. And instead of trying to warn the wicked out of their wicked way, they decide to support them in their wicked way, knowing that they will die in their iniquity. So, and when you warn someone and you try to tell someone of their wicked way before they die, you're showing them love. Like, you're showing them that you care about them. And because you know the truth, much is given, much is required. Because you know the truth, you are supposed to warn people of the truth. At the end of the day, of course, they make their own decision. But at the same time, like, you are supposed to warn them. Like, if you see someone about to get hit by a bus and you don't warn them before they're about to get hit by a bus, like, you could stop it. They just don't see the bus coming, but you could stop them from getting hit. And you don't think to warn them before it happens. Like, you are okay with them dying like that in such a brutal way. That is wickedness. The person is in iniquity. What they're doing is deserving of death. But because you know the truth, you know God's laws, and you don't think to warn them, like, hey, what are you doing here? You continuing down this way, you're you're gonna end up going to hell. Instead of trying to warn them, you thought to support them because you thought that was showing them love. When in reality, that's not showing them love. You are basically pushing them in front of the bus, in my opinion, when you support people that do that. I feel like you're more of like pushing them in front of the bus. I mean, but you're going to get caught too. You're going to get caught in it too. But you should not, if you know the laws of God and you know that what another person is doing is deserving of death, and you don't think to warn them of their wicked ways before they die, their blood on your hands will the Lord require. The blood will be on your hands. It will be on you, the fact that you knew the truth and you didn't think to warn them before they died. Because that's wickedness. You're okay with someone suffering and dying. Because hell is a terrible place. You're okay with them burning and dying down there. Because you didn't think to warn them. It's not like you didn't know the truth, but you just didn't want to warn them. In my opinion, that's like you wanted them to die. You didn't want them to live. Because if you did, then you would have said something. Right. So if you did, you would have said something. But because you didn't think to say anything, I mean, now they're dead in their iniquity. And that's on you. You should really, when the Lord gives you the truth, you should really listen to him and follow in that truth. You shouldn't try to twist it and bend it in all kinds of ways or even support sin knowing the truth, because not only are you going to hell for what you supported, but the person that could have had conviction to change is now going to die too. Like, you're both going to die. It's unnecessary. Especially when you're not even the one doing it. Again, that's just unnecessary in my opinion. Just don't do it. Straight up, just don't do it. So yeah. When you support, when you, if you see that someone is in iniquity and you don't think to warn them, and you know the laws of God, and you don't think to warn them of their wicked way, that is wickedness. Because to tell them the truth is showing them love, you know. And even if it hurts their feelings, I would rather tell you the truth and have you change than stay in your iniquity. And than stay in your iniquity and have you die. If I support you in your wicked ways, you're just going to die. And I don't want you to die. So I'm going to warn you and try to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. I'm not gonna defend you in murdering this person and hurting this person. I'm not gonna defend you in speaking death over a person's life. I don't care how mad he made you. I don't care if that person made me mad. I know that when you speak death over a person's life and death is in the power of the tongue. And when you are guiding someone to death with your tongue, you are wicked. That is wickedness. So even though I don't like that person and you don't like that person, we don't really need to be speaking death over this person's life or trying to get this person to end their life. That is not what you do. And because I know the truth, maybe that other person doesn't know the truth. Let's say I'm person A They're person B, and we're talking about person C. Person C makes me mad. Person C makes person B mad. Okay? Person B may not know the truth of God, God's truth, but I know God's truth. And if we speak death over a person's life and we try to tell this person, to end their life and things like that, that is iniquity. If I see that you're doing that, if I see that you are trying to convince a person to end their life, I'm going to say something to you. Like, don't do that. You're going to cause more harm than good. You are speaking death over that person's life. You are causing more pain than you're causing more iniquity in the world, and you're causing more death than you are causing life. And life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I'm going to warn you. And that's the same thing, that's the same thing with everything else. LGBTQ, fornication. I know that you're living with this man and you guys are not married. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care how many years you've been together. You are not married and you're living with him and you have kids with him. If he doesn't want to marry you, then you need to take your kids and go. Because there's no reason why you need to be in a relationship or living with a man that's not going to marry you. And honestly, men, why are you wasting people's time? Like, really? You know that women want to be married. So why are you wasting people's time? Why would you think that I would want to be with you for 11 years and have 2 kids with you and think that I'm not going to want to ever get married? That will never happen. Most women, almost all women, want to be married. Why would I not want to be married? Why do you think that I want to just be shacking up with you for the rest? I want a boyfriend at the age of freaking 70 years old. Like, are you serious? Let's be for real. And then you also know you don't have any plans to be with anybody else. Because if you did have plans to be with somebody else, you would be trying to look for that other person. If you don't have plans to marry me, but you don't have plans to be with anybody else, what are we even doing? I don't even know. Men who do that piss me off because you have no intention of marrying the girl, but you have no intentions of leaving her either. So you want to be with her forever anyways. You might as well just marry her. But for some reason, they just feel the need to, no, we don't need to get married. Like, are you serious? Why? And this is why I also don't promote for women to move in with men before they're married. Do not move in with a man before you're married to him, because no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to give you a wife before we're married. I'm not going to give you wife material before I'm the wife. Make it official, then I'll be wife, So, I mean, again, I'm going off track, but I don't like how people will try to waste your time and try to say, I don't want to be with anybody else, but I don't want to get married. But I said I wanted to get married from the beginning. So if I said I wanted to get married from the beginning, and then you say that you want to get married, and then later on you decide that you just don't want to get married. If you don't want to marry me, then why not just find someone that you're looking for? Like, who you're looking to marry? Like, I don't even understand. Why are you wasting people's time? I don't like that. Don't waste my time. I'm not saying like that's ever happened to me, because I've been proposed to. But I'm just saying, like, why are men in these relationships with these women and they don't want to marry them? Like, what? You've been with them for 11 years now. You don't have any plans on being with anyone else. You're not talking to anyone else. You're not in the dating market trying to look for the right person. You obviously want to be with the person that you're with right now. So why not marry them? It makes no sense. You just like to waste people's time. And then if that's the case, then I should just tell me that you don't want to get married, and then I'll go find the person who wants to marry me, Don't waste my time. Tell me now so that I know, so that I can leave you. I can leave your sorry. Never mind. You know, not gonna do it. But warning that woman or man, right, that they should leave, or they should either get married or leave that person, is not that. It is basically me trying to warn you, like, you are in iniquity. It doesn't matter that you have kids with him. It doesn't matter that you are, it doesn't matter that you have kids with him. It doesn't matter that you are living together. None of that matters. If you're not married, then, you're in iniquity. And I'm going to warn you. As a friend, I'm going to tell you, listen, bruh, don't do it. That's what Christians do. And I'm not warning you because I hate you. I'm warning you because I love you. And I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Because God forbid you die in your iniquity. And there's no takebacks. And then Judgment Day comes. And you're standing there and you have to defend yourself, the wickedness that you did, which honestly, you will have no luck in that. You will have no luck in trying to defend iniquity to God. Okay? It's not going to happen, bro. The uncorruptible God, you're trying to justify corruptness. It's not going to go well. So, if I warn you before your destruction, then I'm showing you love because I don't want you to die in your iniquity. We don't know what age we will die. I pray that I live for a long period of time, but to be honest, I don't know when I'm going to die. And I don't plan on being in iniquity when I die. I plan on being in righteousness. So, and if I warn you, I'm not doing it because I hate you. I'm doing it because I love you, and I don't want you to perish or burn. I want you to live. I want you to, I want to see you in heaven with me. So that's not me being mean or being cruel. That's showing you love. When I tell you the truth, I show you love. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Okay? I'm going to go to that Bible verse. Hold on. Let me go to that Bible verse. Open rebuke is better than secret love. It's literally Proverbs, I think. I think it's Proverbs. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceits. Okay. Hold on. Open. There we go. Okay. So it's Proverbs chapter 27, verse 5. And then verse 5 through 6. So it's Proverbs chapter 27, verse 5 through 6. And it reads, open rebuke is better than secret love. And it says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Okay? Faithful are the wounds of a friend, okay? I'm showing you love if I tell you the truth. If I'm telling you the truth, it's because I don't want you to die. I want nothing but good for you. And I would hate for you to be in iniquity and then you end up dying, So that's why it's better for someone that cares. If someone cares about you, they're going to warn you about the truth. They're going to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Almost like if you go outside and your friend sees you and she sees you in like a terrible hairstyle or your hair looks horrible and they tell you, oh, like your hair is like kind of messed up a little bit on the side there. Now, if they're saying that like your whole hairstyle needs to go, that they're a hater. But if they say like, oh, like you just have like a piece of hair sticking up, okay, that's because they don't want you to look bad, okay? That's love right there. But yeah, open rebuke is better than secret love, okay? Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy is deceitful. You have to understand that when the person is telling you the truth about your sinful ways, it's to get you to change. They want the person to change their life around. It's not for you to, it's not to make you angry or to, it's not to make you feel bad, but it's really to cause you to feel conviction and to change from your wicked ways. It's a good thing. It's goodness. Okay? Every time I start filming, that's when everyone thinks to knock on my door. So that's why Number 4. Number 4 is Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call good evil and evil good. Okay? And this is another thing. Okay? When you try to defend wicked things, you decide to defend wicked ways as if they are good. You defend people murdering people. And you defend it as if it was good. Or you defend it as if what they did was the right thing. You know what? You did the right thing in ending that person's life. Like, you're crazy. Or you defend a person who is sleeping around from person to person, fornicating, doing stupid stuff. Or even covetousness. If you're defending a woman, I'm telling you, these are things. The fact that I'm saying this, these are things that go without saying. Like, you guys know, okay? When even covetousness, when you defend a man who is sleeping with a married woman, or you defend a woman who wants to sleep with a married man, you're defending her, you're telling her, oh no, go ahead, or you don't want to warn her that what she's doing is wrong. You don't want to warn her at all. You're just like, you know what? She's a grown woman. That's her life. That has nothing to do with me. You have wickedness, okay? You have wickedness within you, because you should have warned her. Like, that's wrong, bro. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You know that person is married. You don't do stuff like that. You just don't do stuff like that. But then also, like, the fact that you're okay with that person doing it, and you're okay with being around that kind of person. You know? You are okay with being around that kind of person who does those types of things. There's something wrong with you. There's something a little bit wrong with you. You have the same iniquity that they do. And at that point, you really need to question your own motives and your own decision making. Because if you're willing to be around people who do stuff like that, like, even, for example, like the SZA makes music about stuff like that. How, like, when men or her sleeping with married people, that's covetousness. That's, you know what I'm saying? Or even defending jealousy. People being jealous of another person. This person has everything that you want, and you're just like plotting against them because, and you see your friend plotting against another person because they have everything that your friend wants. So she's plotting against them, trying to sabotage them. That's wickedness. And the fact that you're defending them, the fact that you're not trying to stop them, Or let's even go down to a micro level. Let's say, like, your friend has an anger problem. Somebody pissed her off and she's ready to fight somebody. You're not, and you're trying to egg them on. You're trying to egg them on, like, oh yeah, like, if you fight and I'm fighting too, blah, blah, blah. Or you're trying to, you're basically talking about them, trying to encourage your friend to fight them. That's iniquity. Why are you trying to cause two people to fight? You don't know what could happen in that fight. You don't know how they could. You could be fighting someone. They could slip and fall and hit their head on something and they die. And then you just killed someone. Like, you don't know what could happen. Anything could happen, you know? And it only takes a split second for your whole life to change. But it's the fact that, like, you know that it's wrong for you to be fighting like that. You know that it's wrong for you to be doing stuff like that. But then instead of trying to talk your friend out of doing something crazy, you want to egg it on because you just want to see you like drama. You like to see wicked things. Things like that. There's a part of you that is wicked. There's a part of you that likes to see dysfunction. Understand, there's a part of your mind that is defiled that you need to, like, really think about your life choices and think about, are you really a child of God? Because do children of God do these things? If the Lord was here right now, would he be okay with you doing this? And then on top of that, you have to think, like, again, like I was saying before, if I were to die right now and God saw what I was doing just now, is this something that he would approve of? Is this something where I would have to defend myself because God would automatically call me out in my iniquity and I would have to defend my wickedness, which, again, is never going to go well. It's never going to go well. So I don't know why you would ever want to do something like that in the first place. But still, it's just like, woe unto them that call good evil and evil good. Don't do it, bro. Don't. If you see that there's something, if you know that there's something wrong, like, let's say your friend is stealing from the store. Why are you defending her for stealing from the store, or even justifying it? Why are you justifying stealing from stores? I don't care what kind of situation the situation is. Like, there's no justification for stealing from a store. All right? You don't need to steal. Okay? And if you're, and most of the time, it's not people who are in a bad situation who can't afford formula. Most of the time, it's not people who can't afford formula for their baby. Most of the time, it's not people who can't afford Pampers for their kids. Most of the time, it's people who just want clothes. People who just want makeup. People who just want things that they don't necessarily need because they have it at home. They just don't want to have to pay for it. If you're defending stuff like that, you're going to go down for stealing. You're defending fornication, you're going down for being a fornicator. You're defending covetousness and sabotaging people. You're going down for everything that you defend. Everything that you have ever defended. Those are the things that you will have to answer for on the days of judgment. Because why did you confuse good for evil and evil for good? Why did you defend this as if this was a good thing when you knew it was wrong? These are the things that every person, man and woman, will have to answer for when Judgment Day comes. When Judgment Day comes, you will not be able to rewrite your wrongs. Because that's it. This is at the point where God is going to decide whether you are going into his kingdom or you are going to be in hell. There is no rewriting your wrongs at that point. So that's why you should just do it now. Do it now. So you should never confuse good for evil and evil for good. Okay? These are things that anger the Lord. The wrath of God will be over your head. There's no reason that you need to be defending evil. You know right from wrong. We all know right from wrong. And when you blur the lines between the good and evil, and you blur the lines between what's right and wrong, you are basically exactly what it was saying in Romans chapter 1. You're blurring the lines. You're basically creating an image of God, a false image of God that is defiled. And God is not defiled. You basically distort his truth and turning it into a defiled, untruthful thing. And no. You're going to go down for things like that. Those are the things that you will go to hell for. You will go to hell for those types of things. And it's not like you weren't warned, because God will warn you. Okay? Because he loves you. He will warn you before destruction. Okay? He will always warn you before destruction. And these 5 scriptures that I wrote down, these are basically him warning you. This is him warning you, saying, like, if you continue in these ways, this is what will happen to you. Okay? Even if it's just as simple as saying that God said something when he really didn't. Simple as you saying that that God told you something when he really didn't, and you're lying. You're going to have to defend. You're going to have to defend that on Judgment Day. You're going to have to basically defend your behavior. And it won't be pretty. Definitely will not be pretty. Yeah. Okay, this is the second time me recording it because my computer decided not to basically scrap the last thing that I just recorded. It's there, but I can't play it. It's doing this weird thing. I don't know. So I have to re-record this. So I'm at the last one, Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. And it is, let me read it out of the Bible. By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. So that's basically, again, it's like, it's similar to Romans chapter 1, verse 32. Or even life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those who love it will eat the fruit. So when you support wickedness, you are when you support wickedness, I just lost my train of thought, bro. Like what? When you support wickedness, you bring forth wickedness. When you support righteousness, you bring forth righteousness. If you support people who are being wicked, doing wicked things, being in their wicked ways, you are supporting wickedness. And you're bringing wickedness into the world. You are solidifying it. You are strengthening the wickedness in the world. And the sins weigh on the world. So eventually that's going to be the thing that destroys the earth. But when you support wickedness, you are basically bringing forth death, bringing forth wickedness. But when you support righteousness, you are bringing forth good things and righteousness. You'll know them by their fruits. A good tree can't bear bad fruit. A bad tree can't bear good fruit. If you are able and capable of supporting wickedness, there is a part of you that is wicked. You just got to change. You have to change that part of you and basically maybe like think about like your decisions and why you feel the need to support this person or why you feel the need to support these things. And when you support wickedness, it is evil. It is evil. And obviously, if a lot of people will think that like if I try to warn you in your wicked way about your wicked ways, then I am judging you and I'm trying to hurt your feelings and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm doing this because I love you. Why would I want you to go? Why would I want you to burn? Why would I want you to be in a terrible situation? I would want you to have all the things that you want in life. If If I love you and I'm trying to warn you, I want you to have all the things that you want in life. I want you to be able to prosper. I want you to be able to have good things. But also, in the end days, when all of this is over, I want to see you in heaven. I don't want to see you burning. I don't want to see anyone burning. But the thing is like, everybody makes their own decisions. But if I see that you're about to make a really bad decision, I'm going to warn you before you make that bad decision, because I love you and I want the best for you. I don't want you to burn, so I want to warn you so that you don't, be out here looking crazy. And then on Judgment Day, you got to defend these terrible things. Because, it's either you're going to have to defend that and stand 10 toes down on it, because either way you're going down for it, right? Either way you're going down for it. So you're either going to have to defend that and explain to God why you felt like it was okay to do that, or you're going to say, okay, I was wrong, I should not have done that. But then he's going to be like, well, you knew the truth and you knew it was wrong and you did it anyways. So why you know what I'm saying? It's even worse. There's no way to get out of that. So that's why it's just best to just, come clean and just change your ways. And instead of trying to be mad at the people who try to tell you the truth, God's laws, God's ways to help your soul, why don't you try to change for the better? Why don't you try to change and say, like, you know what? Where's that conviction? That's why we need to bring back shame, because some people need to be ashamed of themselves and the way that they do things. Like, why are you having kids? Never mind. Why are people even listening to Sexy Red? I mean, come on. She has no shame. We need to bring back shame, We need to bring that back so that people can have an understanding that, like, everything that you're doing is deserving of death. The wrath of God is upon you. You will die and burn in hell for all eternity if you continue in this way. It's a terrible, terrible world that will just allow you to be in this way. And if I'm trying to warn you, it's because I love you. It's love, okay? God will chastise the ones that he loves. He will only chastise you and correct you in your wrong ways. Excuse me. If he loves you. If he doesn't love you, then he's not going to correct you in your terrible ways. And just think about that. Think about how why are you able to get away with doing such terrible things to people? Is there a chance that maybe you're not one of God's children? Because God does not allow any of his children to get away with things. If you try to get away with things, man, he's going to call you out on it and embarrass you in the worst ways to kind of warn you, don't do this again. Don't do this again. Because the next time it's going to be worse, Parents will do that to you because they love you. They don't want you to be, and that's what God will do. When you are trying to do terrible things, he will correct you and make you look crazy, embarrass you to let you know that what you're doing is not okay. Don't do this again. Because no, even as an adult, the Lord will still correct you in your wickedness, because he will not allow his children. He doesn't want you to burn. So that's showing you love, So, and if God is showing you love, if he's correcting you, that means he accepts you as his child. You are one of his children. If he is correcting your bad behavior, like, you can't get away with sabotaging anyone if you thought to do it. I don't really think to do stuff like that. I don't like how those are just all on the inside. What the heck? I gotta get more of my bead things. But, I like this one. It's like a little seashell. Okay. You see this? When people have to knock on the door while I'm filming. People gotta honk the horn and everything while I'm filming. It's crazy. But, yeah, if the Lord is trying to correct you in your iniquity, then That means he loves you. He's trying to correct you because he doesn't want you to burn. He chastises the ones that he loves. And he will basically, he could sometimes use a child of God, another child of God, to correct you in your bad behavior, to warn you of the truth and to try to help you change. But if he doesn't, if you are going around doing these terrible things and you're able to get away with it easily, no like correction whatsoever, I mean, and you just get away with it smoothly, like it just nothing, every single time. There's a chance that you're not one of God's children. Because I'm telling you, like, if I ever try to do anything, man, like, I mean, I just can't get away with nothing. Like, someone could do something terrible to me, and if I try to do the same thing, like, it just does not work out for me. It doesn't, and it's not like, and it's not like I want to do terrible things, but, like, if somebody does something terrible to you, but 2 wrongs don't make it right. But God doesn't really, he's not going to let you get away with it because, you're a child of God, so you can't get away with that kind of stuff. And honestly, it's a good thing because, like, it could have ruined your life or it wasn't even worth it. Sometimes, like, or maybe, like, you were able to get away with it, but then, like, you just feel bad. You just feel really bad inside. Like, why did I even say that? Why did I even do that? I mean, like, So that's why, you just have to, you gotta understand that, like, when he corrects you in your bad behavior, it's because he's showing you love. He doesn't want you to burn. He created the place really for Satan and the Nephilim and the demons and all them. He didn't create it for human beings. He doesn't really want us there. But at the same time, if there's a human being that doesn't want to ever change, he or she has no intentions of ever changing for the good. He knows the truth and still wants to do bad, like still wants to worship terrible things like satanic things. These are people who actively make choices and want to go to hell. They don't want to be with God. There's some people who don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? They haters of God. That's one of the things in Romans chapter 1. Haters of God, like people like that, they don't want to go to heaven. And at that point, I mean, he's going to give you what you want. You want to be separated from God, okay? You'll burn. But okay. This is what your choice is. And I can't stop you, I can warn you before destruction, but at the end of the day, if you decide to choose destruction, that's all on you. I can't stop you, But anyways, that was the scripture. I'm going to read it one more time. For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. So yeah, that was Matthew chapter 12, verse 27. That was the end of my video. This is the end of my video. Thank you for watching my channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Okay? Leave a comment down below what you think and all that. I appreciate anyone who watches my video. See you in the next video.